feedback on board.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you again for allowing us to work on this project with you. As you can see, we have some pictures of what the schoolhouse used to look like and what it currently looks now. The next slide.
Does anybody want copies?
Does anyone want hard copies?
I might grab one at the end, but.
Okay.
So the first floor plan in your packet is staying completely in the existing footprint. We reorganized the back addition, that way it allows a nice entry lobby area that people can come in. We have a glass partition, as you can see, between the main sitting area, meeting area, and the lobby, so you don't get a lot of noise from there. We provided the restrooms for the people to use. If you look at the plans, there's light gray lines and dark black lines. The light gray is the existing building, and the black is all the new that would be added on. In this design, it shows no addition other than an entry off the side to come in. The front area, we took the porch back down to one of the original pictures we had found in there. We left the concrete in the front as is, we just scaled back the roof. I'm not sure what the budget is, but we can work at that in the construction drawings. But we try to get the overall look of it back to the originality of the structure. The ceiling currently is a lot lower. There was under frame ceiling. We're going to remove that and raise it back up to the full height on the inside. That way you can still get those nice big windows there. In the front, you can see there's still some of the brick arches. We're assuming they're in the siding. There's still brick arches under there. They were probably just covered over with the wood and infill when they put the smaller windows in. The second plan, and that's just a one-up rendering showing it. We showed, I know there's talk about some future parking along the side there, reworking the entry. That can all be worked out either now or later. This gives you the view from the future parking, and again, we just have the single entrance into the rear. And then the next plan is option number 2. The main core of the structure did not change. In this concept, we put together a little conference room. That way, if the board needs to adjourn and go have a conversation in private, there's a space to do so. If you have 2 things going on one night, you could still have a small room to have people work in with the conference room, as well as the main seating area. And this rendering, everything stayed the same in the front, and the majority of the side, we just put the conference room off the side to be accessed for either the current rear parking lot or the future side parking. And currently, I think we have enough seats. We have shown 72 seats in there currently. Depending how nice you pack them in, you can fit more. And this again, once we get some of that siding off, we'll know does the brick need to be repointed and to what extent structurally. I saw you had a report done by Elton and Thompson Engineers in Lansdale. We've actually been using them for probably 5+ years now, so we're very familiar with their work. They're familiar with us, so we're already on the same page on a lot of things. And when the time comes to do the renovation, we'll be utilizing them since it's a win-win. They're already familiar with the project, so we don't have to try to get someone else.
Again.
Yes. Well, somewhat paid, not as much. We don't have to pay for another engineer to come out and study the whole building all over again. And then if you turn, I have some interior renderings. Again, that showed, so the interior, that's the interior rendering of the hall, the main hall. We try to incorporate, preserve the front arches over the main entry and bring the ceiling up, so that we have a nice big area. We showed some TVs on the side walls just to do presentations such as this. And then we also show view from the front looking back, you can see the glass partition between the main sitting area and the lobby when you come in, as well as a rendering of the smaller conference room. And since we're in the schematic design phase, we can move the conference room to better accommodate more focus on the rear parking lot or the side future or both parking lots.
Yeah, that was my, only concern when I had reviewed this with Mike is, because a lot of people are gonna be coming from behind the building, it seemed like it would be better to not just have a solid wall there, but maybe turn the conference room so that there's more of like a porch entrance along that, or somehow have a connection to the entry from the back, was my only thought.
Yeah, I know with the septic being in the back, we were trying to avoid having too much going out
Right.
the back, so we were trying to maintain that back line, but we can see about rotating the conference room, have it maybe more on the side, or just take this whole piece here and,
Or what if when we do the renovation,
And just flip
we
it.
tie the septic into the septic for this building?
Well, the county has already given us the go-ahead to use the septic that is there.
That's there.
Yeah, so that's a huge cost savings, to be able to utilize what's there. I mean, we could run a pipe all the way back here, but that doesn't seem, and the septic, the leach field is in the middle of the trees, and then the actual septic tank is on the back side of the rear of the building. So once we get the survey, we suspect that this conference room could be flipped a little bit and it would still be fine, if that's something that you guys think is important. If you're fine with how it's presented, then we can move forward with that. But I think also tonight, the architect would like, some guidance as to whether or not you wanna do the conference room or not do the conference room. I tend to think the conference room is a good idea, not only for executive sessions, but when the zoning hearing board, meets, they like to adjourn to a separate space so that they can discuss before they make a decision in public. So I do think the conference room is a good addition to the space, if you guys are supportive of that.
What do we think the cost difference is gonna be?
We're still waiting to get some cost proposals, but I mean, ballpark, I'm not sure it'd be that huge, but I mean, what's the dimensions of it? It's like,
150 square feet.
It's about 150, so depending what kind of finishes, it's not like you're putting brick there, we can do it with a party board, so that way it's still durable, but yet, I'd say maybe 50 to 100,000 price difference, depending on finishes, and if we do a crawl space, I mean, you're not excavating down. There's so many variables, and depending when you move forward with the renovation, has a lot to do. It's not as crazy as it was during COVID when lumber prices went through the roof, but with commercial, unfortunately, some people tend to charge a little bit more just because with commercial, you're opening yourself up to a little bit more liability than if you're just doing a single family residence.
so we can always get cost estimates, they're gonna be very rough, but we could always get those first before you guys move
I mean-
forward if you want.
I like the idea, it's just justifying the cost, it's really the issue, so.
Didn't find another grant.
Yes.
Start digging.
Are you done yet? Divided it?
I like the conference room.
Yeah.
Things get bigger, township might get a little bit bigger, and people that like come out, you can hold other things in there. We can go bigger all the time instead of smaller. Costs more to add on, but
It's cheaper to do it now than if you wait another 5-10 years too.
that structure, is it all wood? Is it gonna be wood or is it gonna be?
It'll be
actually-
wood framed, yes, because the back part of the addition currently is wood framed. And we're just gonna maintain that same wood frame, and then we can do the whole backside or the rear of the building in vertical board and batten, which is what we show in the renderings, that way it all ties in. Board and batten's been around for a long time, so that'll also tie in nicely with the brick.
Right.
Than if you just do vinyl, horizontal style vinyl, yeah.
Vinyl should be outlawed. Fire hazard.
All right, any other questions, comments?
No.
You said you're getting a survey then to more delineate where the septic and everything is?
Yeah, the survey's underway of the entire property.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When when do you think you'll have that?
He seems to think in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, yeah, once you have that, we can see where we have the room to play
Exactly.
with, and
Yeah.
that way we're not, oh yeah, this works out great, and you get out there and start excavating, go,
Sure.
oh, the tank's bigger than we thought.
Right, sure, absolutely. And just, I mean, just so that you guys know, we have, from a financial standpoint, we received the $100,000 LSA grant to help with this project. It's dedicated to this building, to the renovations. We also have about $400,000 of ARPA funds, so those are the COVID funds that have to be used by 2026, all right? And we have flexibility in what we can use them for, but you guys essentially kind of dedicated those to an expanded meeting room as the top priority, and then upgrades to the township campus, which, you know, we'll work through in the future. And then we also have roughly $400,000 in reserves dedicated to building upgrades that have been accumulated over years. So we have a robust amount of money already set aside for this project and then others, just so you know.
Okay.
Once you have that survey, we can take a look and see.
Right.
And maybe we'll get a bigger conference room to, a little more and plan for the future growth.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
No, nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice. It looks like it's supposed to be there. One question on the, leach field and the sewer system back here. Does
For
that,
the schoolhouse?
For the
building?
schoolhouse, yeah.
Okay.
does that need improvement also, or is that
No, the,
okay? And
I
is
had
it
the,
capable of handling?
the county came out, I met with our sewage enforcement officer and talked to him about what the plans were, and he seemed comfortable that the system we have is fine, given the limited use of this building for meetings. He did just suggest that over time, we just kind of monitor how quickly the tank fills. We may need to have it pumped more frequently,
Yeah.
depending on the usage. But he gave us a sign off that we can use the septic system.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you
Thank
again.
Thank you.